Welcome to Storytime with Miss Rachel. Have you ever seen the television show Sesame Street? When I was a little girl, I used to watch Sesame Street all the time. I learned a lot of things from Sesame Street. I learned how to count, and I learned letters. And I also learned that monsters are not scary. On Sesame Street, there are a lot of monsters, like Cookie Monster, and he's not scary, he just eats a lot of cookies. And Elmo's a monster, and he's not scary, he has lots of fun adventures. And one of my favorite monsters was a blue monster named Grover. He was always so funny and getting into so much trouble. Today's book is a book about Grover. It's called The Monster at the End of the Book. Are you ready? What did that say? On the first page, what did that say? Did that say there will be a monster at the end of this book? It did? Oh, I'm so scared of monsters. Shh, listen. I have an idea. If you don't turn any pages, we will never get to the end of this book. And that is good, because there is a monster at the end of this book. So please don't turn the page. I think we should turn the page. What do you think? You turned the page! Oh, he's so dramatic. Maybe you don't understand. You see, turning pages will bring us to the end of this book, and there is a monster at the end of this book. But this will stop you from turning pages. See? I'm tying the pages together so you cannot. See, he's tied the pages together. But I think we'll still turn the page. You turned another page! You do not know what you are doing to me! Now stop turning pages! Silly Grover. There, I, Grover, am nailing this page to the next one so that you will not be able to turn it, and you will not get any closer to the monster at the end of this book. You see all of his construction tools? Is that going to stop us from turning the page? No. All right, all right, all right. Do you know that every time you turn another page, you not only get us closer to the monster at the end of this book, but you make a terrible mess. I think he's making a terrible mess. This will stop you from turning pages. A heavy, thick, solid, strong brick wall. I would just like to see you try to turn this page. We did it again. Do you know that you are very strong? Poor Grover is buried under the bricks. The next page is the end of this book, and there is a monster at the end of this book. Oh, I am so scared. Please do not turn the page. Please, please, please. All right, let's see what the monster is. You ready? Well, look at that. This is the end of the book, and the only one here is me, the lovable, furry old Grover, and the monster at the end of this book. And you were so scared. I told you and told you there was nothing to be afraid of. Did he tell us that? No. He was the one that was afraid of the monster at the end of the book. But it's just Grover, and he's not anything to be afraid of. Are monsters real? No. There are no fuzzy blue monsters. He's just a puppet, and he's a lot of fun. He tells great stories and has fun adventures, so he's nothing to be afraid of. And that's something that we need to remember. When we're afraid of something, we need to stop and think, is what I'm afraid of something that's real, or is it imaginary and made up? If it's just imaginary and made up, then there's nothing to be afraid of. If it's something real, then we need to tell a grown-up so they can help us. Today, we're going to make our own monster. For this project, you're going to need some paper, some paint, and you're going to need a loofah sponge. And you're going to need something to put the paint in. So I put some paint in my plate here. And then my sponge is very old. You see it's falling apart. So I had to squeeze it and make a circle. Do you see? It kind of looks like a flower. Then I took my sponge, my loofah, and I put it in the paint and got lots of paint on it. Then I took my paper and I pushed it down and turned it around to create a filled-in monster. And I did it 2 times for a head and a body. Then I drew on legs and arms. And I thought googly eyes would be fun for a monster. But you see, I didn't put them on straight, and I put them very close together because I wanted a fun monster. Now, I didn't put a mouth or nose on my monster. What do you think? Does he need a mouth or nose? Let's see. I think we could put a mouth on him. And I have a silly monster, so I'm going to make a silly face. So I'm going to do like a little wiggly mouth that goes up. Can you see it? The little squiggly mouth. Making monsters can be so much fun because you can make them however you want to make them. Silly, happy, scary, I guess, if you like scary monsters. But is our monster scary? Can it hurt us? No. Well, I hope you enjoyed this book today, and I hope you remember to think about things that are scary and see if they're just imaginary things or if they're real things. Remember, if they're imaginary, there's nothing to be afraid of. If it's real, tell a grown-up so they can help you. Thanks for joining me in the library, and I'll see you next time.